Hey, and welcome back to the Adam22 channel, where I talk about a whole bunch of crap every friggin' day. Well, being that there's not a ton of news out, I figured that today I would do something a little bit different, and I would present to you my predictions for the XXL Freshman cover. Now, last year's cover came out about 6-7 months ago, so it stands to reason that they're probably going to start talking about who is being considered for the list relatively soon. I figured I would just get a jump on it and just start talking about it. Here is my prediction of who I think is going to make the cover. Now, a few caveats. Number one, we have no idea what's going to happen between now and the cover happening. There is a complete and total chance that there might be some rapper that I just started listening to that just started putting music videos out, and by the time the XXL cover comes out, he might be so hot, so out of here that he might be perfect to put on the cover. Now, we don't really know if that's going to happen. Those things are hard to predict. It might even be some artist that we already know about, but he might put out a song and it might just go so crazy, and that might make him an obvious candidate. This is based on what I know about right now within the rap game. And yes, there might be some people I'm forgetting, but I did poll the chat on live stream and they were giving me answers as well. They were recommending people. So for the most part, I tend to believe that I've at least considered most of the applicable artists, but there's definitely a possibility that there's other artists out there that I'm missing. Anyway, let's just get into this in no particular order. Let's start with the most obvious one. Boom, Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD was not even really around for the last XXL cover, but I think it's pretty obvious. He's probably the biggest artist that will be on the cover this year if he chooses to take it. I mean, Juice WRLD has just had a completely ridiculous year, and I don't understand how they could possibly do the cover and not include Juice WRLD. He's got huge songs. Everybody knows he's got a ton more stuff left. He's got big things coming. He did a whole mixtape with Future. I mean, realistically, he might already be too big for this list, but he's not too big for this list. He's just almost there. He's not like Cardi B where she could blow it off, but you know, I think he's definitely going to do it, and he'll probably be the biggest star on the cover. Okay, next obvious one, Blueface. Everybody loves Blueface. He's just a likable guy. He hasn't really managed to get himself into any situations that have made people dislike him or anything like that, and he's got a bunch of songs that are doing super good on YouTube and everything. And yeah, it might be a little bit early in the sense that he doesn't have a mixtape. He hasn't necessarily put out a lot of the stuff that you could probably expect him to put out, but I mean, his songs are huge. Everybody loves him. He's on Lyrical Lemonade. He's got a song with YG that just came out. I mean, everything is looking really, really on the up for Blueface. And he's a charismatic guy. He's the kind of guy that everybody likes. And even if his music isn't always that dope, like, he definitely has songs out that I don't think are that great, but people still seem to love those songs. He has other songs that I absolutely love. But yeah, I think Blueface is an absolute shoo-in. It's hard to imagine this cover without him. All right, next obvious one, and to be honest, I consider most of these fairly obvious. YBN Cordae. People love YBN Cordae because he raps in such a lyrical fashion. He's got a lot of like 90s sensibilities, just in the sense that, you know, he does things different than a lot of other young rappers. He pays a ton of respect to older rappers and stuff like that. He just clearly has a reverence for what came before him, but he doesn't sound totally derivative of stuff that came out before him. So I find that a lot of young people really love YBN Cordae, and then a lot of older heads really respect him and what he's doing. And he's a super likable person. He's probably the nicest young rapper that I've met. Probably the whole time doing this. He's just a sweet kid, super nice guy. The music's super good. I do not see a way that he doesn't make the cover. Okay, again, this is obvious, right? Sheck West. Sheck West has got to have like the biggest song of anybody on this cover. Mo Bamba has just been an absolute fucking ride over the past few months. Like, when I did that interview with Sheck West, which that interview did fairly well and everything, I was excited when I got that interview, but that was just another song at that time. It was not what it has turned into. That song is absolutely like taken over the world, and I think Sheck West is kind of in a similar category where he's got such a cool personality. He's different than YBN Cordae. He's not like Mr. Mega friendly all the time. I feel like if anything, Sheck West has like that artist persona where people really, really like his attitude, and he seems, you know, bold enough that he believes he has a grand artistic vision to deliver to the people. And it's up to him to completely deliver on it and everything. And it is worth noting that none of his songs have come even close to Mo Bamba, but I think it's pretty clear that he's got star potential, and he's definitely moving on up regardless. Okay, next one. Let's do one that's slightly less obvious. Last year, I was saying Rico Nasty, hardcore, for the list. she didn't make it. I guess when you look at it, her songs weren't that huge at that time, and I feel like she's come a long way, and she's still got a ton of material yet to come with Kenny Beats and with all kinds of other people. So I feel like Rico Nasty's star is rising. And last year they took a risk on Stefflon Don for the cover, which I respect her talent and everything, but if you really look at Stefflon Don versus a lot of the other people who are on the list, she wasn't putting up the kind of numbers that they were. And even if you look the year before, Kamaya, she wasn't putting up the kind of numbers that a lot of other people on the list were. I think they're definitely going to put at least one woman on the cover. I think Rico Nasty is the obvious one to me. She's got the personality. She's got fucking fire music. People love her from all different walks of life. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I could totally see Rico Nasty being gigantic, and I think she's just a clear cut. She's the kind of person that if you worked at XXL, you would want her on the cover because she's just cool as fuck. She's just tight. She has a very different image than most of the other girl rappers out there, and people love her for it. All right, so this one should also be pretty obvious too if you're really paying attention to what's going on in these streets, but Roddy Ricch, he's been going crazy. If you really pay attention to like what style is popping off in hip-hop in 2018, 2019, I mean, to me, Roddy Ricch is just a very intelligent, clear progression. I don't know if I want to say progression, maybe an elaboration upon what Gunna and Baby and a lot of these other rappers are doing and stuff. I mean, he's got one video on YouTube with 30 million plays. Like, it's pretty obvious to me that people are just going fucking crazy for this Roddy Ricch guy, and I'm still trying to get the interview. Haven't heard back on that, but I think he is just a clear one. And there's so many people in the industry that are checking for him crazy, that are loving him. I feel like anybody who seems like they really know about what's going on in hip-hop is very, very enthusiastic about the Roddy Ricch thing. So to me, if XXL doesn't include him, it's a risky move. I think he's a pretty clear W. Okay, next after that, and keep in mind this is not in any particular order, YNW Melly. I still remember about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, I was down in Atlanta, and I met this dude in the studio, this dude named Track, and he told me, he's like, yo, I got this artist, YNW Melly, you gotta check him out. He sent me the song, he sent me the link to Murder on My Mind. I checked it out. I was like, bro, this is the fucking song. I was listening to it like crazy, and then when he finally got out, we kicked it right away. I was with YNW Melly in the studio, we're having a good time and everything, and I definitely thought he had talent, but I did not know he was gonna blow up the way that he has now. It's just crazy seeing how well his songs are doing, and the fact that he's got Kanye West on his album, I'm like, what the fuck? The fact that he did the Kanye West video on Lyrical Lemonade, I mean, hey, Melly's making moves. I gotta listen to the album. I'm sure it's amazing, but yeah, I definitely think YNW Melly's got a pretty obvious spot on the list. Next up, people that I think are going to make the list. I really think that Lil Mosey is a clear person that's going to make the list. He's got a bunch of big songs. Honestly, last year when he put out that one song on Elevator, I liked it, but I didn't necessarily think that it seemed like his career had a lot of longevity past that. You know, there's always just people who drop hot songs on Elevator or whatever, and they don't necessarily go anywhere from there. Well, Mosey's career has definitely been going good since then. The song Notice that he did on Lyrical Lemonade, absolutely fire, one of my favorites. And another good thing about Mosey is just that he's a super nice kid. He's just like the nicest kid. He's easy to get along with. That's one thing that you'll notice with XXL and how they tend to do this, is that if somebody's a dick, there's a big part of them that doesn't want to work with them at all. Like when you hear stories about Rich the Kid and what happened last year and everything, and I've heard Vanessa, the editor, like speak about exactly what they're looking for and everything, and it's just the human connection really makes a big difference in this sort of thing. Okay, and then for my final two picks, this is pretty obvious. Gunna and Lil Baby. I don't know how they're gonna use one and not use the other. To me, Lil Baby and Gunna are pretty much in a dead heat in terms of who's the hottest these days. Obviously, the project that they did together last year was like incredible. I believe that they did like 130,000 first week off of that project, which is pretty incredible. To me, it's just super obvious that Gunna and Lil Baby probably should both be on the cover. I don't know if they're necessarily going to want to put them both on the cover because they are sort of similar. You know, people put them in the same category in their minds and everything, but it's just super obvious that they're two of the hottest dudes out here right now. And then finally, and for those who are really paying attention, this is actually number 11, Comethazine. I really feel like Comethazine deserves a spot on this list. He's a little bit different than most of the people on the list, and he's got a new project out that is fire. As I've covered in the past, he has been talking a little bit of shit on No Jumper in our Instagram comments, so I'm not exactly happy about that. But Comethazine, I think he's got to make it on the list too. I just looked at this list. Show it on the screen right now. I couldn't figure out who I wanted to remove from this list. I thought about removing Mosey, but then I was like, no, dude, I can't do that. I really think that he's got a good chance. So here I am, stuck. Let me know what you think of this list, and let me know if you think that there's anybody I should remove. And if you want to know who I have as runner-ups, let's take a look at that list as well. Shoreline Mafia. Shoreline Mafia been blowing the fuck up. The problem is, it's a 4-person group. Never before had they ever put a group on the cover, and if they did, I'm not sure how they would handle it. I guess they would probably just give them one spot. So I don't really think Shoreline Mafia is going to get it just because of the group thing, but God, it would be so fucking tight to see Jeezy on the cover, throwing up his gang signs, whatever the fuck that shit is. Shoreline Mafia, the best. Amazing, but I don't think they're making the cover because of the group thing. Another one that stood out to me, Lil TJ. Lil TJ is doing incredible numbers on YouTube. I just did an interview with him. He's a really cool kid. I think he's going to have a really, really big year coming up, but when I looked at my final list, I couldn't really bump anybody out of that list in favor of Lil TJ. So I do think that he's a pretty logical person to make it onto the XXL list soon, but maybe not right now. But then again, he could put out a song in a week or two, and that song could be so big that he might seem like an obvious candidate to be on this list. So definitely possible. Okay, after them, Lil Gotit and Keed. I don't know that they've necessarily had big enough songs to get themselves onto the list, but to me, they're definitely two of the hottest rappers out right now. They're both brothers, actually. I don't know if everybody realizes that. And the Gotit interview is actually already out, so you guys should go check that out. But yeah, I've seen people say this, that Gunna and Lil Baby were to 2018 what Gotit and Keed are going to be to 2019. Now, there's no promises in this shit, but that definitely seems like a possibility to me. And I think that probably they're going to have to get Gunna and Baby out of the way in terms of this cover. And if Keed and Gotit have really big years, I think that they're pretty much going to be guaranteed to make it on the list for 2019. For 2020, I mean, Jesus, my brain is melting. Another rapper that I would really like to see make the list, but I don't know that he's necessarily blown up enough yet, Splurge. To me, Splurge, I love Splurge's music, and he's super tight. He's like a person I really, really get along with. I could hang out with him. He's awesome, and he's actually signed to the same management group as Lil Pump, which is a really good sign. Splurge is awesome. Maybe not quite at the level of being on the list just yet, but I do think it's right around the corner. And then finally, and I really considered putting this person on the main list, Young Miami from the City Girls. Listen, I'm not necessarily out here listening to her all the time or anything, but if you've seen that video that she did with Cardi B, I mean, that video is a friggin' moment. And the other thing is, she's managed by QC. I feel like QC has the ability to maneuver and get her into a situation like this. For me personally, it might be showing a little bit of my bias that I chose Rico Nasty over Young Miami, but Young Miami I definitely think is going to be in contention, and I could see her making some noise, even if it's not right now. And she is in kind of a weird position because the other girl in City Girls, she's in jail for fraud charges for like the next at least a year. But yeah, she's definitely another one that I could see making it. So please, everybody, if you're watching this, I need to know what I'm doing wrong. I need to know if you guys disagree with me on any of this stuff. So feel free, drop a comment down below and let us know. Do you think I'm tripping? Do you think that there's anybody I left off that I should have kept on? Keep in mind, I know a lot of people are going to say stupid shit in the comments. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, where's Lil Skies? Right, Lil Skies did blow up, but if you're familiar at all with what happened last year when Lil Skies was supposed to be on the cover and he just sort of unceremoniously dismissed it at the last second, he's probably not going to make it onto the cover for that reason alone. But yeah, anyway, smash a like and drop a comment down below because I'd really, really like to know who else you guys think is going to potentially be on the cover and just artists I should check out in general, because obviously there's plenty of blind spots that I have. Anyway, free the stink team. Go get the Glow Jumper merch from nojumper.com. I know you see it. I know you want it. I know you guys want this in your life. Glow Jumper merchandise, nojumper.com. Definitely go get it. Thank you very much to everybody who watched this. Peace.